going to be clicking on this video with this title on it if you weren't interested in the Wilder Joshua situation. And as we all know, we're all going to continue to make videos about this, no matter how much we say that we're not. And let's not pretend that we don't care about this and we're not going to continue to care about this, because we all want this fight to happen. And most of us realize this is the biggest fight in boxing right now and it needs to happen. But let's look at a few things. I'm not going to, make this video and talk about the blame game, whose fault it is and this or that. But I'm just going to look at a few things that I've been observing, and I'm sure other people have. Hey, what's up, Plastic God? Thank you, brother. And I'm sure other people have. I want to see if you agree with these things, and I'd like to hear other people's takes on these things. And again, we all know that the Joshua protectors, or the Joshua sycophants, are going to be in the comment section, and they're going to say whatever negative thing they can about Deontay Wilder. But let's just look at the real thing here. Initially, when talks started, first offer from Team Joshua was $12.5 million, and that was increased to $15 million. And as time goes on, we see a pattern here. Eddie Hearn already has that 2-fight deal set up for Joshua, and that fight for April 13th, an extra 10,000 seats are going to be added to that. So obviously, that's going to be designated for a big fight, a bigger fight than normal for Joshua. So that in itself tells you that Eddie Hearn believes that April 13th fight, which they're really trying to set aside for Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua to fight, by adding the 10,000 seats to that arena, which could translate into about $2.5, maybe $3 million possibly. That in itself tells you right then and there that he realizes that the fight is bigger now than it was, and that it is right now. So the fight's going to continue to grow, and as time goes on, it seems as though Deontay Wilder's profile is going up and his position is strengthening. So, all these UK fans can sit there and say, well, Wilder isn't popular, no one knows who he is. But yet you guys keep talking about him almost every day, and you guys are making at least one video about him every day, and you guys are at least clicking on 2 or 3 Deontay Wilder videos every day. So don't you guys realize the hypocrisy in what you're saying? If this guy is so unpopular, so irrelevant, then why do you guys continue to talk about him? And why do you guys continue to click on videos about him? And why do you guys continue to click and open up articles about him? And if you guys don't think that social media and the internet is a popular tool, then I think you're myopic. I think you've been living in a bubble these last 4 or 5 years. I heard one idiot say, well, no one would know who Joshua was if it wasn't for YouTube. Okay, but do you realize what you just said, you dumb fuck? He wouldn't be popular if it wasn't for YouTube. Well, isn't YouTube the second largest website in the world? The amount of hits that YouTube gets, isn't YouTube a good platform to utilize to make yourself popular? Isn't Twitter and Facebook and Instagram great social media platforms to make yourself popular? So again, you can sit there and call him the D side if you want, but you clicked on the video because you care. You care. You're proving my point, Larry Merchant. You clicked on the video because you care. And each time you make a comment, you're adding to the popularity. You're adding to the popularity. So by trying to diminish this guy, just like Floyd Mayweather said, he goes, I don't care if you write good things about me or bad things about me. Just keep writing about me. You know why? Because you're making me relevant. Because you're making me relevant. And you could sit there and pretend that you don't care. You could sit there and pretend that you're just trolling by clicking on this video. but you care because you want to see the fight just as bad as I do and the rest of us do. So to pretend that you don't, you're fucking full of shit and you're lying. And you're lying. Because as time goes on, this fight will continue to get bigger. And I truly believe the fight will happen in April. Do I think Deontay Wilder is going to get 50-50? No, I do not. But do I think that he's going to get more than the $15 million guarantee? Absolutely. Because he's doing the same thing that other fighters have done in the past. He's trying to get the best deal possible, which is what Golovkin did. He originally accepted 35% for the Canelo rematch, and what did he end up getting? 45%. He asked for 50, but he got 45 and he settled on 45. So at the very least, if Deontay Wilder increases, which he will, his position, if he gets a better offer, which I am almost 99% sure Eddie Hearn will come back with a better offer, because originally he said that 12.5 million was going to be the final offer, but then he increased it to 15. And, now Deontay Wilder himself had said, he believes the fight's going to happen in a recent interview. Eddie Hearn says he believes the fight's going to happen in a recent interview. All this other bullshit, for all we know, could just be to hype the fight up. Do we really think that either side does not want this fight? They're not stupid. They know that this is the biggest fight in boxing. They know that after this Canelo Golovkin fight, there really isn't any big fights out there. You could sit there and say anything you want about Deontay Wilder's resume. You could sit there and say whatever you want about how much he's made. But we all know that this is the biggest fight in the sport. And, people could have always turned around and used the same argument against Golovkin when he was fighting Canelo. Oh, you haven't sold more than 150,000 pay-per-view buys. So why should Canelo give you what you want in these negotiations? Well, let's look at Canelo Alvarez. He's never made as much as he made in the Golovkin fight with any other fighter. With him as the A side, he's never sold more pay-per-views than he did when Golovkin fought him. So obviously, Canelo Alvarez is still the A side in that scenario, but Golovkin is a very strong B side. Not because of what he did in the past, because if you want to go by what he did in the past, he only sold 150,000 pay-per-view buys. But with Canelo Alvarez, he sold 1.3, and that was that was 2 weeks after the Floyd Mayweather-Conor McGregor fight. Who's to say how much it would have sold if that fight didn't take place 2 weeks prior? And, Canelo Alvarez as the A side, his highest pay-per-view to date with him as being the A side was Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. at $1 million. Did 1.3 competing against Mayweather-McGregor with Gennady Golovkin. So does Gennady Golovkin get any type of credit for that 1.3? Of course he does. And I suspect in the rematch that they'll probably do 1.5, maybe 1.6 with the storyline that we have for this rematch. So you guys want to use these straw man arguments, these red herrings you want to pull up. But at the end of the day, let's just look at where we are now. I know I sound like a broken record, but let's just look at where we are now. We both know, all of us know, that this is the biggest fight in the sport right now. We all know that it's going to do very well. We all know that Anthony Joshua is the A side, but you have to still give Deontay Wilder, or you should, you don't have to do anything, but you still should give Deontay Wilder a respectable offer, that is commensurate with this fight. Let's look at what this fight is. When you get a job, it doesn't matter what you did in the past. If you're getting a promotion to do a harder job or a more lucrative job or a job that has more responsibility and it is a greater position than what you had in the past, obviously you're going to get more money. The guy that's offering the job can't say, well, your highest payday, salary to date was $30,000. Yeah, but that was when I was doing a different position. So let's look at the event itself. Let's not look at other events that really aren't comparable to this event. Because in fairness, Deontay Wilder's never fought an Anthony Joshua before in terms of name recognition. Just like Anthony Joshua was making $2.5, $3 million a fight before he fought Vladimir Klitschko. And then that's when he got his first huge payday at 15 million pounds. And ever since then he's been getting those big paydays. So everyone needs that career-defining fight. Anthony Joshua possibly has had it with Klitschko, and he could have it again with Deontay Wilder. And realistically speaking, yes, Deontay Wilder has never had that career-defining fight. That's fine. But again, you're going to look at the event, and you can't compare previous events to this event that aren't on the same level. Okay? So you can't sit there and tell me that this fight is not going to do substantially well. You can't sit there and tell me that people are not going to be interested in this fight. And you can't sit there and tell me that on April 13th, this fight is not going to be bigger than it is now, and that it's not going to get more attention than it is now, because it continues to grow. Deontay Wilder's name continues to grow. And you could say whatever you want about YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, but those social platforms have immensely helped Deontay Wilder some of that credit. And in the same token, that doesn't mean you have to take any credit away from Anthony Joshua. I think you guys get it twisted. This isn't about diminishing Anthony Joshua at all, because outside of Canelo, he is the biggest name in the sport. And we're going to respect him and give him that credit. But again, Deontay Wilder still brings something to the dance in this event. So obviously, I don't think he's going to get 50-50. I'm guessing he's going to get somewhere in between 35 and 40. Possibly they may end up with 37%. Possibly he may get a 18 million flat fee or a $20 million flat fee, or he may just get the same $15 million dollars up front, and he may get a back-end percentage on top of that. I think at the very least, and I would bet my life on it, that this next offer they give Deontay Wilder will be better than the previous one. Because as history has shown, Eddie Hearn has continued to give Deontay Wilder better offers. He started at 12.5, the second one was 15, and he's already, as I said, planned that this fight is going to be bigger in April than it was in September. So he's added the extra seats. He's already got the date and the venue sealed up. So I think Eddie Hearn is showing that he's a little bit more committed this time to making this fight. And regardless of all the bullshit PR stunts that both sides are doing right now, I think both sides really want this fight, and both sides really know, or really know and feel that it's the best thing to do this fight next in April. And, it is what it is. And I know people are going to sit there and say, well, Wilder's never sold 20,000, blah, blah, blah. Well, Floyd Mayweather's never sold 20,000 either. All the biggest fights in the sport, the attendance was in between 15 and 16,500. So I've used this example so many times. Who would you rather have? Would you rather have a charity barbecue with 5,000 people, okay, who are paying $50 a head, or would you rather have a black tie dinner charity, okay, a black tie dinner charity where you have 500 people who are spending $1,000 a head, or $500 a head, or $1,000 a head for a black tie dinner? Of course, the 5,000 people are substantially more people than the 500, but again, let's look at the net revenue of the event. And I'm not trying to throw shade on the 90,000, but I think the 90,000 is so overblown, because you have to look at the live, the live gate revenue numbers at the end of the day, which equate to 11.5, 12 million. And I have already used these examples several times before. Canelo Golovkin had a live attendance of 16,000, and they did $27 million at the box office. The live gate was 27 million, which was more than double any of Anthony Joshua's total revenue for his stadium fights. So what does that tell you? What does that tell you? So when everyone says, "Oh, this guy never sold 90,000," is that really a relevant talking point at the end of the day when it comes to the total revenue at the event? Doesn't matter how many seats you sold. It matters how much revenue you generate, how much of the tickets. And we all know that the tickets in Las Vegas, we all know that the tickets at Barclays are substantially more money than the tickets at Wembley. So that's what you have to look at. That's the comparison you have to make. So I know you guys are still going to, if you're a Joshua fan, this video is not going to make a difference to you. You're still going to feel the way you feel. But at the end of the day, I'm being objective here. I'm not playing the blame game anymore. All I'm looking at now is what's going to happen moving forward. I think the fight will happen on April 13th. I think Deontay Wilder will get a better offer than the first time. I think this deal will get done. They have 10 months to do it. I think that, as I said, with Eddie Hearn committing to the venue, committing to the date, committing to still be open to negotiate, and even in Deontay Wilder's latest interview, he said a lot of things. I think that was some PR stuff that he did. I don't think he really is going to not take the fight if it's not 50-50. I think he'll settle for less. But again, he's going to get a better deal. So at the end of the day, as time goes on, Wilder's profile continues to grow and his position continues to strengthen. And Anthony Joshua's is pretty much staying the same, and that's not a bad thing. Thank you, Black Horseman Promotions. Shout out to you, brother. Thank you for that, the super chat. So that's not a bad thing with Anthony Joshua staying where he's at right now, because he's in a very great position. Will Deontay Wilder ever catch up to him, by April? Probably not, but he's getting closer. He's getting, more exposure. You got to give him credit. He's doing a lot of promotion for himself, and it's really helped and worked in his favor. And even Eddie Hearn has admitted as such. Imagine if Anthony Joshua did what Deontay Wilder did, he could be getting Floyd Mayweather money right now. Okay? So as great as Anthony Joshua has been doing in terms of, the numbers and the revenue and all the endorsements and stuff like that, which is very impressive. I'm not going to take away from that. I'm really not. But if he put more effort into promoting himself like Deontay Wilder did, if he was out there, putting himself out there, doing interviews, being accessible to the press, then, it is what it is. I think he'd be that much better. I think he'd be that much better. So all in all, again, what Anthony Joshua has done is impressive. But at the end of the day, you can only rest on your laurels so much. There's only so many times you're going to be able to fight Alexander Povetkin's, where you're going to be able to fight Joseph Parker's. And I honestly think Joseph Parker is going to box Dillian Whyte's ears off. So after this Povetkin fight, what's next? I just don't think that there's much left for either guy, really. I mean, Deontay Wilder could probably do a Luis Ortiz rematch, but after that, or he could maybe fight Joseph Parker if Joseph Parker beats Dillian Whyte. But I don't think anyone wants to see an AJ Joseph Parker rematch. And I don't know if people will be satisfied with the Dillian Whyte Anthony Joshua rematch either. So I know you guys aren't going to really change your opinions one way or the other. The sides have been, divided. People have chosen, what side they want to be on. But at the end of the day, I'm really looking forward to this fight happening on April 13th. I think it's going to happen, and I'm done with the blame game. But I'm still going to call out people, and I am still going to call out Eddie Hearn if he's lying, or if he's exaggerating, or if he's not telling the truth, or if he's making shit up. Whether or not it's for hype or not, whether or not it's just for PR or not, whether it's not just to promote this fight or not, I'm going to call him out on it, because you guys actually, Anthony Joshua sycophants actually believe this guy, and you're actually parroting things he's saying that are totally false. And I'm not going to let you get away with it. I know I'm a nobody in the grand scheme of things, but I'm still going to voice my opinion as long as I got this YouTube channel, and no one's going to fucking stop with me, man. No one's going to stop me. All right, Beaver's out. Make sure you check out the Ringside Reporter podcast tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Manny Pacquiao, Lucas Matisse. We're going to recap that fight, and we're going to go over the news and the upcoming fight schedule. So make sure you join in tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Come back to the channel. Listen to the podcast. Beaver's out. Talk to y'all soon. Peace, baby.